For a closer look at some of Sweden's lesser-known gourmet products, we visit Lena Engelmark, a specialty producer who is packaging up some of Sweden's wildest flavors. And we'll take a lesson from Swedish cheesemaker Claes Jürss as he shows us a few of Sweden's favorite cheeses.
In Sweden we have a long history. We have what we call allemansrätten, which means everyone's right to walk along the land and pick and forage so you can survive because of the long distances. And so it's quite common. You go into the forest, you pick your own berries, you pick your mushrooms, but the plants we've lost somehow during the way. And I think it's a pity because there's so many interesting tastes and flavors in the plants. This, everyone would know, this is the flower of chives. You could eat it whole. The most common thing is that you eat the leaves, but you can eat the whole flowers. You could also take, it's a bunch of small flowers, so you can actually eat the flowers themselves, and they're beautiful when you look closer at them. You can also pickle them, the buds, and that's what I've done here. I pickled the buds. Another thing I know you have in the United States as well is this one. We call it chickweed. And if you take the tip of it, it's one of the best wild herbs, mild and a bit nutty in taste, putting in a salad. So you can eat it in salads, you can also cook it, make a stew or a soup from it. Very mild in taste. Another one, I don't really know the English name for it, but you find them growing wild. It tasted like peas. Beautiful flowers. There are a number of different kinds, and they're all edible. In Swedish we would call it vårärt. You have a spruce shoot, also edible. Most people know that you can eat them while they're really, really young, like this, really small. They taste almost just like lemon. Very little of the spruce taste. But then you can experiment. The longer they get, the older the shoots get, the more taste you get of spruce. So I pickle the small ones. I make syrup when they're a little bit older. You still have this freshness, a lot of acid in it. And when they get really green and nice, I'll make oil. This spruce oil with this green, lovely, clear color is oil spiced with the spruce when the shoots get longer and stronger in the spruce taste. So the Norwegian spruce is what we have here in Sweden growing wild, and that's the one I'm using. And you can smell the smell of Christmas tree of it. I've also trying some of the more spicy things with the technique of capers, with salt and vinegar. So these are Dandelion Buds. Dandelion has a very strong bitter taste to it, and also sloe, which you normally never eat, the sloe berry itself. You just pour boiling water on it, let it cool, take the water off, heat it up again, and repeat that 3 times, and then add sugar to it, and you get a wonderful lemonade with a very strong color, a very fantastic taste. If you try the berries themselves, they're so tart that your whole mouth just sprinkles together. It's terrible. But if you wait until late in the fall, after a couple of nights of frost, most of the tartness goes away. So when I did this, it came out really fruity, interesting. And it has small pits like plums in it, so because it is a plum relative. So that's an interesting one. I make a few marmalades, and when I do them, it's because we have a lot of fruit and berries on the ground where we are. I have a plum marmalade, and I always loved to keep the skin of the plums, which gives a bit of a burnt taste. So I spike this with hop. Goes very well with cheese. And I also make a blackcurrant marmalade, and I grow a chocolate mint. So I just add a little bit of chocolate mint to this blackcurrant. And I cook them in a way to get the caramelization taste, not just the fruity marmalade, but really cooked for a long time and really condensed it and caramelized the taste. I'd say wilderness is part of the flavors in Sweden when it comes to berries, mushrooms, and meat. It is becoming more of what I'm doing now with the spruce, with the sloe, elderflower, etc., is now becoming bigger and bigger in Sweden. We see a definite trend. We have Noma, who's inspired quite a few here in Sweden. We have one up in the Jämtland, Fäviken, with the same traditional ones, using what's around you with the nearby. So that's definitely coming very strongly, and I can see it's an amazing interest for the products that I'm doing, and that is not because I'm doing unique products itself, it's because the interest of these products, rediscovering what we have here in Sweden, re-establishing the Swedish edible plants as well, which is fantastic, and I'm really happy about it.
We are in the middle of a region called Sörmland in Sweden, and a small city called Flen, and we have our small dairy there. We don't have any cows at all of our own. We buy the milk from 4 different farms, biological farms around us, and produce artisan-made cheese from that. 100 years ago, every farm made their own cheese. Everybody could make cheese on their farms. So, and then, like the structure, it becomes all over the world. It becomes bigger units. And for 25 years ago, when I started, there were about 15 small-scale producers in Sweden. That's nothing. I mean, we are 9 million people, so it's nothing. Every cheese that was made, and it's tons of cheese every day, was made in industrial way. And they made good cheese, it's no problem with that. They made good cheese, but it's not that little bit of extra you can get on a small scale production. Nowadays there are about 140 small scale dairies in Sweden, working with both cow milk, sheep milk and goat milk. So it has increased a lot during this 25 years, and the curve of the increasement is rather going straight up. I brought here some samples of typical Swedish cheeses, I think. We are, of course, making camembert and brie, and that's things that we normally import from France, but those are not typical for Sweden, so I brought those on. That is hard and semi-hard cheeses. To start with, we have one we call Jule. That's an old type of castle cheese. It's made in different castles all around Sweden, and the mixture of milk acid bacteria are very special for this one. This one is stored about 6 months. That's minimum, I think. But you can store it for another 6 months without problem. It's just getting stronger and more taste. So this one you can either eat on the sandwich or with a knife in pieces like this after dinner. We have a small one here called the Brukets Blå. It's a very Swedish name. It's dedicated to an old football team in a small village near us. And it's wax on the outside, blue wax, that keep it from drying out. And this one is a specialty from the southern part of Sweden, called Småland. They call it home cheese. They had the milk stored for several days until they get enough milk to make a cheese of it. And while it was stored, it was becoming more acid. And they took away the cream. They made the butter of the cream, and what's rest, they made a cheese of it. And this one is very acid compared to the other ones. We have modernized it a little bit, so we don't take away the cream. We make it on whole fat milk, and put a little bit more acid in it from the beginning, in a special blend, of course, a mixture that's we found out will work for this one. We store it in vacuum bags, and before selling it, we take away the vacuum bag, dry it, and wax it. This one is, we call it a hard cheese, but it's not so hard. It's semi-hard, semi-soft or something like that. But it's stored for 1 year about. The next one is a little bit special. This is, we made this one for a special occasion. It's called His Majesty the King's birthday cheese. Because when he was becoming 60 years, it was supposed to serve this one on the official dinner together with beer and snaps. And we also had some pickles on the plate. And it contains herbs, you see. It's old spice in it. It's not a common cheese herb, but this one will be served with, not with wine, with beer after dinner, or after dinner, but before the dessert. This big one here this is typical Swedish. The structure of the texture of this cheese is what we call, with the green pip in Swedish, I don't know how to translate it, but you can see it's small, not round holes in it. And the type of cheese is what we in Sweden call a preacher's cheese. It's a very old traditional recipe that is made for several hundred years back. And this one we store at least 1 year. We don't take it out of the storage room before 1 year. And it's stored in its wax like this. It can be a little bit problem. It's easier to do like I did with this one, store it in a plastic bag and then wax it, because the cheese is alive, so it's moving. It's a movement, so you can have some small blesseds here on the surface, but it's not a big problem. So. We have a blue cheese, yeah. This is not from the beginning a traditional Swedish cheese, but it's our big seller. And everybody asks for blue cheese in Sweden. Every small-scale farm or cheese producer make some sort of blue cheese, because everybody asking for it. And this one I have to be a little bit proud of it, because we have won the Swedish championship, I think 6 or 7 times with it. So it's our best seller. The traditional Swedish cheeses are this one, I think. It's a lot of hard cheese or semi-hard cheese that is made long ago in all of Sweden, I think. And it's stored for rather long time, 9 to 12 months at least. And we have the tradition of eating it on our sandwiches. That is the most common way to eat cheese in Sweden. You put it on your breakfast sandwich. So you eat a sandwich every breakfast in Sweden, yeah. For the last 20 years, you have got influences from the Southern Europe, and we have started to eat cheese after dinner like they do down there. But we have still kept the tradition of cheese on the morning sandwich. The traditional morning sandwich in Sweden is a white bread or a rye bread or a hard bread with butter on it and 1 or 2 or 3 slices of hard cheese.